All right, welcome back. Dailies today, and remember we're streaming this live on Facebook at Nigeria Info FM, on YouTube at Nigeria Info FM too. You can also join the conversation on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, we're there waiting for you. And so, Uncle Jimmy, the big story we have in the economy this morning is yesterday's announcement is all dissolution of the board of the First Bank. They wielded the big stick on the board of directors.
Yes. It appears that you have a very visibly angry CBN, that issued that statement yesterday. And barring all other considerations, I think that the effort is to strengthen the position of the managing director in that bank. Apparently, it looks as if the CBN believes that there's been a lot of interference and that due diligence has not been taking place, and it's possible that the managing director who was retained was being bullied. Okay? And if you go by experience, I've had one or two friends who have ended up in jail, from bullying of this kind. Your MD tells you verbally, go do this. In the past, in the days of the failed banks, when people thought that they owned the banks. For example, and he would do it, and when the cookie crumbled, it crashed on them. This is going to enhance people, anybody in authority. This is a very good example of how to enhance their jobs. You understand? To enhance their jobs. Nigeria needs that. Nigeria needs a system that allows people given authority to carry out that job without interference or fear of losing their jobs. And I suspect this is what is happening here. Okay, a lot of stories will eventually come out later, but I think the principle is what we have here. And Emefiele, goes to a great length to explain what happened. If you will permit me, Emefiele explained that the CBN begged the board members of First Bank not to remove Adedutan, but the pleas were ignored. Now, this is a man who would have retired at the end of this year anyway, so what was the rush? And he said, this decision came to us as a surprise. This bank has been under regulatory forbearance intervention since 2016, meaning that the CBN had cast more than a glance at what was going on in First Bank since 2016. And it says regulatory forbearance intervention. What it just means is that the CBN was supervising the bank, heavily. And the truth is that even before we issued the query yesterday to chairman of the board, copied to all the directors and major shareholders, the initial attempt to remove the managing director was leaked to me by an interested party. When I heard about this, I had cause first to call the chairman of the holding company, Mr. Oboh. He picked my call. I reminded him about the regulatory intervention and forbearance regime in the bank, and that the decision to take such sweeping changes would require prior approval of the CBN. I pleaded with him to step down the decision, and we would hold a meeting to discuss the issues. Given that the current managing director was running on a tenure that is expected to expire on December 31, 2021, that's this year. As far as we are concerned, there was no need for such changes. The CBN says that given the Apex Bank's regulatory intervention and forbearance regime, it felt that if there was any misconduct on the part of Adedutan, he should have been queried. Okay, it should have been queried. He said the CBN should have been informed and the Apex Bank should have been a party to such an action to punish Adedutan. We were not informed of any misconduct. Neither were we informed of any query. Emefiele noted that the CBN had been satisfied working with Adedutan on a stabilization regime for First Bank since 2016. It means that the bank's situation had been a bit rocky. It had been a bit rocky. He said Adedutan had played his role to the best of CBN's knowledge and the best that could be done of a professional banker. And he went further to say that Adedutan himself had insisted on best governance being put in place, adding that the Apex Bank had the suspicion that Adedutan was removed because he took decisions that did not favor major shareholders. We suspect, like I used to use the word suspect, that it was because he stood his ground on certain decisions that are not in favor of major shareholders of the bank that they felt and thought it should be removed. This is against what we stand for. Now listen to this, Aghogho. Oh, Migo, I haven't greeted you
No,
this morning.
Migo.
It says, this is a bank where depositors' fund is almost 10 times shareholders' funds.
Which is unusual.
It is unusual, and it is important to know. It is important to know that these people do not own the bank. You understand? What it says, 10 times shareholders' funds. So you are talking about other people's money. And it says our interest is to protect depositors and minority shareholders who have no voice in this business. We granted of the regulatory forbearance to enable the bank work out its non-performing loans through provisions for write-off of at least 150 billion. Only God knows who are those who are involved in this loan scheme. I think it's not going to, if you want, you can read, the Punch has a complete story about this. If you want, you can pick up a copy of the Punch to read it. But I think, for me, the significance is that at last we are having people's jobs being protected.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to a day when an attorney general can walk in on his governor or on his president and say, Your Excellency, with due respect, sir, I'm sorry you have to leave office because of so and so. That is the only time Nigeria can move forward. As it is now, once you have any, in fact, because in any case, to get the job in the first instance, you don't lobby tire. Money would have exchanged hands, power, you would have gone to Dobale, do all kinds of things. I mean, so I'm happy and I'm glad that, according to this story, Adetuton had stood his ground. This is important. It is important for people to know that when you leave any organization, no matter how high up, you still have a populace to answer to. And at that time, there will be no excuses.
Exactly. And legacy to preserve.
Legacy to preserve, yes.
Thank you very much. Meanwhile, the CBN has also said there's nothing to panic about.
No. I think the bank will be rock solid. I mean, they've been under supervision for 2016. I think this is just the height. MFLA is going to go after some of these people. If for any reason they're involved in covering up of any loan schemes or whatever, MFLA is going to go after them with an axe.
Yes. So from the economy, let's go to health, Jimmy. Experts are warning of looming danger over the Indian case, which is getting worse. Every day they break the record. There are over 2.4 million infected.
If you just read the papers that they've broken the record, it's not like seeing it live on CNN. What we see live, how bodies are being disposed of 24/7. You could sit all night and count the bodies and so on and so on. Anyway, what concerns us here is that India has recorded 2.4 million cases and 21,385 deaths in 1 week. In 1 week. And the president of the Academy of Medical Specialties, of Medicine Specialties of Nigeria, Dr. Ashiru, in an interview with the Punch correspondent, said the country would be in serious trouble if Indians coming to the country were not monitored and quarantined. And the medical virologist at Adeleke University, Dr. Kolawale, also stressed the need for the federal government to increase molecular testing. And now this, the fatality of Indian variant is higher than previous ones. That means that this one comes with a vicious whatever. And the NMA, the Nigerian Medical Association, says that the Indian strains of COVID-19 should create fear. What I think we need to do in the very short run, given the Nigerian factor, is to close our borders to anybody either coming from India, or who has gone through India in the last 30 days. Now, this came about because of an irresponsibility of a religious sect that had some kind of convention, what we would call, I don't know what convention, and then they had this large crowd, and from there it became a super spreader. I hope we all learn a lesson from this. And by the way, there is some belief out there either that there is no COVID, there was no COVID, there will be no COVID, and there's nothing to fear. It is the biggest mistake you ever made.
Absolutely.
Even if you have been vaccinated, you need to be absolutely careful. Because the vaccine doesn't mean you will not catch COVID. You will not, I don't like to use the word catch, that's a local word, that's a local word, but you won't, whatever it is. But it means that the effect will be less, but you can then transmit.
Very true.
So at least think of your family, think of those close to you, and be much more careful, even if you have been vaccinated.
Yeah.
But we have an assurance from the Lagos State government that it will do all within its powers to prevent the third wave of the pandemic. And the Immigration Service have also said no cause for alarm. And says there's no cause for alarm as far as the deadly Indian strain of COVID is concerned. And they said all efforts were being made to ensure that all protocols released to curtail the spread of the virus were being followed at the nation's entry points. I'm a bit skeptical. If you go through our airports, I went through our airports about 3 weeks ago. It's like an IDP camp.
Yeah.
Everybody is begging you, from security to name it. Even I told you the story of how the woman who is at the point where you're supposed to take a search was telling me at some point that Organic, I can't help you tie your belts now. So in order to embarrass her, I said, Madam, you're a married woman, you're close to 50 plus. If I told you to come and tie my belt and your husband was around, what would you? A lot of them have no shame. They have nothing. They don't give it. They just want the money. All kinds of stupid jokes are being, so it is important that Mr. Aregbesola should please bang it into their heads at the airport that this is not a time for Roja. Because you can see corruption stares you in the face at our airport. It stares you in the face. People beating lines and so on and so forth. Some even beating the COVID lines. You know, you're supposed to go through the COVID clearance. You still find one or two people beating that process. This way, no, he's one of okay. But see what has happened. Let me read this. It says the United States tells citizens to leave India as soon as possible. I think we should tell our brothers and sisters who are in India, who have gone to buy two wrapper, have gone for medicals and so on and so forth. This is a time to. But do we want them to come home now? I think we should keep quiet. I just said we should encourage them. We should send them food.
A case worse than death. And the case of interest also too is with the Vanguard by Legushi's profile on Facebook. The fake profile.
This is Yahoo of the highest order.
Yeah.
It doesn't involve the Oba.
No.
What it means, an artisan impersonated Oba Legushi and duped a lady of 51 million. He pretended to be the Oba.
Yes.
And the woman was looking to marry an Oba. The woman is in the UK.
Yes.
All the buru where in don't go do is looking for an Oba to marry. That's a soft landing. And it is said that this man, Segun Olushola, is 48. He used his Facebook whatever, and was now. By the way, my Facebook whatever has been crashed. In fact, it's been stolen from me. What they did was they stole the account and put another name. But of course, it goes with the hordes of friends that I had on Facebook. I think I had over 9,000 or something like that on one of the accounts. So the person stole it and put another name and put a woman's face there.
Okay.
This woman was supposed to have been born in 1955, was supposed to have gone to the Methodist Boys High School. So I reported to Facebook and I haven't heard anything for close to 2 3 weeks. So anyway, let's all be very, very careful. Okay, let's if it wasn't for my job, honestly, I won't be on Facebook. But let's all be very, very careful in the social media. And he said on one fateful day, I told her she's beautiful and I want to marry her. She fell for it, the woman. And the only thing that would stop me from marrying her is if she fails to perform some traditional rites. It is these traditional rites. I use me.
Yes, I'm with you.
Late Wahab will say. It is these traditional rites that would cost 51 million. The woman drop them. I think I need to.
That's where the Wahala happened.
And then, of course, but now they have caught the suspect. Yes, 26-year-old painter. Dupes the woman of. She'll be lucky if she gets that money back.
Yes, but he be the Oba in jail. Most definitely.
This case?
He be the Oba in jail.
These Yahoo boys. You see him walking the streets again.
Okay, I think we're going on a quick break.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Let's go on the break and we come back and there's several other stories.
Tea for break. Any tea during break?
Espresso. Dailies today, and still looking at the stories with Uncle Jimi Disu here. Let's go to the Vanguard with ongoing drama with Baba Ijesha. Continues to have several twists and turns. Yesterday, the police had a press conference trying to clear the air over a number of things people have been saying offline, online.
You know, I hope the social media will not be undoing in this country. Such a serious allegation, a serious crime is said to have been committed. And I find that a lot of people have overreacted for various reasons, some deliberately, some to get fame, some maybe to, some have all these NGOs, some of them are doing it to advance or whatever. There was one that even said, I want to take you on. Uncle Jimi, I want to take you, the good old trick. So that if it takes me on now, then it should have more people, whatever. I just ignored all of them. Right. I don't have time for such things. But, for example, I don't know who posted the video of the mother of this girl. When you have a situation like this, it calls for sober reflection. It's not making noise all out in the social media, foot stamping and whatever. It calls for for sober reflection. Do you know why? Because you have a 14-year-old girl in the detail. And there is what you're doing is you're making life more reasonable for this girl. Unreasonable, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, excuse me. Thanks for the correction. We need to be extremely careful. We need to be and then also we need to realize there is something called the law. The law is not emotional. The law is not sentimental. Rivers Oshoma will tell you the law is based on facts. And Mr. Odumosu is standing on facts. And he said, we have moved this case to the DPP's office. The man is still with them. So what was the whole opera about?
Right.
Why can't we just be patient and allow processes go through? Nigeria is not and will not be a jungle. We will always need to be patient to follow due process. Nigerians seem to have this attitude of now, and seem to think that the loudest voices. Yeah. I mean, for example, every time I watch movies, somebody faints or somebody passes out or is shot, and then instead of you to look for either who would help you take him to the hospital, of course, there's no ambulance to call. Yeah. Instead of doing something, the next thing to do is throw yourself out. And Nigeria is not a village. I can understand. Excuse me. I need people to understand. Yeah. I can understand the pain of the lady, of the lady who is the guardian of this girl. I can understand her pain. Yeah. But don't let us bring ourselves to total ridicule. Let us wait. Let us be process driven. Don't let's get. And for those who think that it's time for them to get popular or to help their NGO activities, what you're doing is very unfortunate. Because you're trying to improve your own standing on somebody else's misfortune. This calls for sober reflection. The mom should be left, somebody went and videoed her while she was crying, and everybody, the social media yesterday I kept deleting things. Okay? Of people ranting and raving and this and that. I mean, hey.
Absolutely.
Give me a break. Give me a break. Let us all be responsible. Let us remember that in the middle, the most important, in the middle of all this crisis is a 14-year-old who 2 years from now is going to be a teenager. 14 is already a teenager anyway, but he's going to be 16, 17, and will be walking the streets.
Has the rest of her life before her.
And she has the rest of her life before her.
So let's take a break from Baba Ijesha and all the drama to some reflections from our sister.
I like you put and all the drama.
Donu Kogbara has something for us.
Donu Kogbara she's a writer in the Vanguard. She writes a weekly column, and she's called Sweet and Sour. That's the name of the column. And today, the title of her article is Well Said. Who is she referring to? She's referring to my very good friend, who I think I met for the first time in 82 or 83. Itwa Aghogho. You know, when he was still around town, when he was in the world. You know, not now, Baba is pastor now, so he's out of the world. But when we were all kuras running all over now. So I knew him. And since I had known Itwa around 82, 83, I have never, I'm not saying he hasn't, but I have never seen him lose his temper. When I saw his 60th birthday message, this was a very, very angry Itwa Aghogho. And that is what it is. That his 60th birthday statement that Dono Kogbara is and she said that she was so she was so happy to hear Itwa say this, that she decided she was going to transcribe the things that Itwa said. Let me read part of it. It says, "We know the gatekeepers in Nigeria, the people that are holding this country by the jugular. There are not many of them. I don't think there's up to 1,000 of them at federal and state level." What she didn't write is that after every paragraph, Itwa would say, "Who does this? Who does this?" He was very angry. And he says, "We need to go to each one of them and speak to them to get the children of Israel out of Egypt." Moses had to go to Pharaoh and say to him, "Let my people go." And we need to tell Buhari and other government officials to let Nigerians go and do the right thing. Okay? And this is, we need to go to them in Niger State, Kaduna, Katsina, Kano, Ijebu, Anambra, Bayelsa, and so on and so forth. We all know where they are. These gatekeepers who are holding onto the resources of this country are not doing the things they need to do. Why do we have a law in Nigeria in 2021 that does not allow us to develop our natural resources on the grounds that belong to the federal government, which has refused to development? Why are we wasting each other's time? There's bitumen in the ground. There's gold, like this. Whereas bitumen is like the man who said there is corn, there is agbado. But he says there's bitumen in the ground, there's gold in the ground, also resources available, and so on and so forth. And he also goes on that we need to just stop talking generally in the air. If we keep talking generally in the air, nobody will take responsibility. We need to ask Bola Tinubu, for example, why he wants to be president, what he wants to achieve, and what his plans are for, and his plans for Nigeria are, and so on and so. He said, I went to Ajegunle and Bariga the other day. People are living in slums. They're living on rubbish heaps. So why don't you, Tinubu, develop Lagos and make sure everybody in Lagos has a comfortable home and is able to live very well? Why are you running up and down to the federal level looking for power in Aso Rock?
Absolutely.
It's very, so if you can pick up a copy of the Vanguard, and Dono has transcribed it for you there. But the other bonus, just 1 second. The other bonus is that next week Saturday. What date is that? Tomorrow is not tomorrow. Next week Saturday.
Next week Saturday will be 8.
8th of May. Itwa Aghogho will be in this studio at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Excellent.
And we'll be going through this and other things. So it's something you don't want to miss.
Excellent.
8 a.m. next week Saturday. Itwa Aghogho will be in the studio.
We've got just a minute and we have 2 more.
What do you do? Just sprint it 30 seconds. Which one do we have?
Analog to digital. Lagos has...
Yes. I need to find somebody to talk to explain this to me in full. This analog to digital. But what it means is that you're going to have to buy some box. And you'll
it's
be
for
able
free,
to
though.
view.
They said it's free. We pick up the set-up box for free.
No, here it says that the box was, somebody's complaining, the box was too high at 12,500.
Oh.
It doesn't say it's free, oh.
The NBC DG was here the other day saying it's free.
The boxes are free.
Yeah, but then the subscription isn't free. But I don't know. They will have to really.
Okay, so where do you pick up the boxes?
They have they have centers all across.
Where is the one closest to us here? I want to go pick up a box now. I mean, hey.
We're going to have to find out that they have to put it up for us because Lagos is too big to just throw people into. No,
but what you say that boxes are free. Somebody here is saying that the boxes are too expensive at 12,500.
Ah, okay.
Okay, what we will do is I think we will need to go after I think it's the NBC that's selling the box. First of all, we'll tell the DG to come. Please, DG, please, you are listening. While you are coming, can you please bring a box for me? All right, let's bring 4 for my listeners so I can do a lottery.
Okay.
No, we'll drag him down here next week so he can explain in full.
All right. So that's it on Daily Digest. We have the news headline at the top of the hour. Uncle Jimmy is back at 10 for...
9.
Sorry, at 9 rather. I don't know why I keep saying 10. At 9.
You need a holiday. You need to run away like Sheriff did.
He's back at 9 for Daily Digest. All right. Let's take a quick break. We come back and headlines for you. Please stay with us.
station that puts you first.
Security apparatus that we have, they are not only ghosts. They cannot be everywhere at the same time. Let every Nigeria be the first responder to whatever crime that is being perpetrated towards them.
You see, if government is doing exportation,
You ask the questions, we bring the answers. Your number one station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3